Our top story, BCCI Chief Sourav Ganguly has now weighed in on former India captain Virat Kohli's poor form. Remember, Kohli is going through a lean patch which has stirred quite a buzz. Ganguly said that Kohli has been a great player and knows his own standard and has to find his way back to success. The BCCI chief also added that poor form is part and parcel of the sport and that many others like himself, Sachin Tendulkar as well as Rahul Dravid have been in poor form at certain phases in their career.
Look at the numbers he's got in international cricket. That doesn't happen without ability and quality. Yes, he's had a tough time and he knows that. He's been a great player himself, so he knows himself by his own standards it has not been good, and I see him coming back and doing well. But he's got to find a way which makes him successful, as he has been for the last 12-13 years, or maybe even more. And only Virat Kohli can do that. Yeah, these things will happen in sport. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to Sachin, it's happened to Rahul, it's happened to me. It's happened to Kohli, it's going to happen to the future players. That's part and parcel of sport, and I think as a sportsman you just need to listen, be aware of what it is and just go and play your game.
So Kohli's place in Indian team is being repeatedly questioned by the experts, including former greats like Kapil Dev, although Rohit Sharma has firmly backed Kohli. Now, amid growing chorus to drop Kohli, BCCI chief has now weighed in, saying Kohli has to find his own way and become successful. So is the criticism of Kohli fair? We are throwing our phone lines open. You can call us with your comments and concerns on the number flashing on your screens. We have an eminent panel also joining us this afternoon. Charu Sharma, sports commentator, joining me, and Bimal Soni, former manager of the Indian cricket team, also with us this afternoon. Thank you, gentlemen, for speaking with Mirror Now. Charu Sharma, let me start off by asking you, that there's Kapil Dev, Venkatesh Prasad, Virender Sehwag on one side, and then there is Rohit Sharma, Sunil Gavaskar, even Graham Swan on the other. In the middle of this comes this Sourav Ganguly statement. How do you read his statement, and what's your opinion on the criticism of Virat Kohli? Is it fair or is it unwarranted?
But all the criticism is fair. But what Sourav Ganguly has just said is also very fair. He just said he has to find his way back. In other words, he's big enough to somehow recalibrate what's going on in his life and come back strong, which has happened to every player, as he said. So that's a very fair comment. At no point has Sourav, to my mind, suggested that Kohli should be ousted from the team or that his era is over. He's just saying he'll have to get to his peak form as soon as he can by finding his way through whatever muddle he's going through. I don't know if Rohit, by the way, I apologize because I've leave about 115, 117. But let me try and quickly put the hierarchy of cricket in perspective for you, Rohit, and for everybody else listening. There are junior players who will never say a bad word about any senior player. There are current players playing in the Indian team who will never say anything bad or critical about their former captain who's still a part of the whole mix. There are those who just left who will never say a bad word or never be critical about it. Only those who stop playing, say, maybe 20, 30 years or 25 years from now, have, in a way, the right in the cricketing world. There's an hierarchy, like I said, to say, well, so-and-so should be out, so-and-so should be in. Of course, it's a matter only for the selectors, and everyone's free to give their opinion. But this is the cricket hierarchy in terms of criticism. Of course, the media and the rest of the fans are free to criticize and say, Kohli, bad form, out. But I'm sure there's a section of people saying that he's one of the finest cricketers India's produced in a very, very long time. And if he is muddled or lost because of some internal reasons, there ought to be communication between the current team, the selectors, the captain, and Kohli saying, listen, what is your mindset? Do you think you can get out of this cobweb that surrounds you right now? And do you think you can be back? We're happy to have you because you're a proven match winner. And if you think there's something wrong, you need to go back to the dressing table or whatever, drawing table, beg your pardon, then go back to it. But the suggestion that he has to go back to domestic cricket, to Ranji Trophy to prove himself, is a little preposterous.
Bimal Soni, Ganguly also says that poor form is part and parcel of sports. So do you think Virat Kohli will have to get back to his scoring ways, or he could find it difficult to make it to the T20 World Cup squad? Or do you think that India can't afford to drop Kohli from the squad?
Look, what you have to see is that it's for Kohli to see he is going through a lean patch. Every cricketer goes through a lean patch. In the previous cricketers' times, we used to get domestic cricket to come back to form. there was Ranji Trophy, there was Dulip Trophy, and the cricket was not so much as it is today. The people who are playing Indian team today hardly play domestic cricket nowadays. So what Kohli has to see is that he has to judge his form, play a couple of matches, and if he still feels, then he has to rest or give way. And it is his decision. You know, as a doctor, I can say that reflexes do go a little slow after 30, 35. How much you can cope up, how much you can adjust the game and still continue playing international cricket. So as far as I am concerned, as Ganguly has said, it's a Kohli decision. He should take it fast rather than be dropped out or, in my language, thrown out of the team. That will be bad for a person who has given 15 years of lovely cricket to the Indian team. So what I feel is that next 1 or 2 months are very crucial for Kohli to return back to form, take his decision, either take a sabbatical or a rest for some time, or announce his retirement from one form of cricket, maybe not continue all forms of cricket, and this is his decision. But at the moment, Kohli is in bad form. He has to get out of it.
All right, Charu Sharma, I want to ask that same question to you before I get in my first caller. Do you think India can afford to drop Virat Kohli from the T20 World Cup squad?
Answer, Rohit, yes, because we've got such a huge bank of talent, hungry juniors, younger people, not even so young sometimes, but haven't been blooded so far, who thoroughly deserve to be in the team. So the simple answer is yes. Can we afford to drop him? But, when it comes to a World Cup, I've said very often that the selectors particularly, we're just fans having a chat. I mean, we're not, the selectors tend to err on the side of experience. Because when there are big matches and something like a World Cup, it's not a part of a regular series where you can chop and change and say, well, never mind, we lost a couple of matches. We'll win a couple of matches later. Here, it could be a knockout scenario. And the selectors generally tend to err on the side of experience. Kohli has vast experience, and all he needs is 1 or 2 matches of fabulous performance in, say, the World Cup, if he is selected, to once again show that, the pressure, the nerves don't affect him quite as much as somebody younger who's very talented, who's scoring plenty of runs in matches that have less relevance or importance than the World Cup. So remember, there is a big difference, a gulf between the kind of pressures that are there for a regular T20 match and a part of a bilateral series, or of course, when you're talking about the World Cup in very difficult, different conditions against the top nations.
All right, we have our first caller, Gayatri, calling from Mumbai. Gayatri, go ahead with your question.
I do not know why we are so much dependent on history. Okay, he was a great player, but it's not a lean match. He has not been batting well for the past 3 years. Sometimes we wonder, is it because of the corporate sponsor and the other thing that you're still hanging on to him? And why is everybody from the BCCI President being so defensive? If he's not playing, he hasn't. We have given him a very long rope. We have enough talent. So the common cricket fan thinks that it is not only the BCCI who is deciding who will play. Is it also the corporate sponsors who are deciding who will play? It is very sad that when you have so many young people...
Mr. Soni, would you like to take that question? We have already given a long rope to... All right, Gayatri, we heard you. Mr. Soni, take that question. Why so much dependent on history is what Gayatri is saying. Why is Ganguly on the defensive?
I agree with Gayatri on one point, that we've got a lot of talented youngsters who can do well, groom them before the World Cup also. So Kohli can be dropped. But what I said is that give Kohli about a month, not about 4, 5, 6 months before the World Cup. Give him some matches, and if he fails, he goes out or he takes his own decision. After so much of human service for Indian cricket, he has a right to take his own decision. And that we can, by selectors have to warn him, give him the due leverage, give him a couple of matches, and if he still doesn't do good, either he withdraws himself or the selectors drop him. So it is high time that we give him the final loop and ask him to take a decision.
Yes. We have another caller, Shiv Kumar, calling from Bengaluru. Shiv Kumar, go ahead.
Hello, panelists. Hello, good afternoon. This is about Virat Kohli's bad patches, lean patches is going on. So I would like to mention one thing is that everybody goes through these lean patches, and Kohli has done so much. He has done so for the Indian cricket team, and we should give him some time to regroup himself and to recount himself, regain his form, and to come out with the flying colors. I should think that who are those experts? Why are those experts commenting on all this Kohli's forms and all? Because he has given so much of things to the Indian cricket. So, and he has given so much of initiatives taken during the dressing table and team and leaderships and skills. I feel that too much has been talked about the Kohli. I think he should regain one or two series or West Indies tour. He should come back and he should regain his form.
All right. All right. Charu, would you like to take that? Give him some time. Everyone goes through a lean patch. You know, Ashish Nehra also said about Kohli that if he rests for a month or 5 weeks, it will be helpful for him. Do you think that will help?
Afraid not. You know, match situations are match situations. You can't simulate them at home when you're resting. And also, you know, you have to be, and Kohli understands, he's the fittest member of the Indian team, that this is a continuous process. You have to play match after match. I mean, there's enough time to rest in cricket, unlike many other sports. Yes, it's far more physical now than it used to be. But still, as a professional, you have to be ready to virtually play every day. So this rest business is okay for a short while, but he's under a lot of pressure at this point of time. And I say once again, it's all about communication between the current team members and the selectors, Rohit and company, and Virat, saying, how are you feeling? We can give you 1 or 2 matches more. Do you want 3 matches? Or do you want to butt out of T20 completely because of the fact that, you know, it's a cruel world for a batsman because, I mean, the pressure keeps mounting. And there's a strike rate to be concerned about. You do not have time to dig yourself in. And Kohli might well say, listen, the pressure is mounting on me. And despite my best attempts, I'm not being able to get a decent strike rate and I have to move it along. There's no point having Kohli in a T20 match where he scores, say, 50 in 85 balls because he might have done well, but the match is lost because of a strike rate. So T20 is very demanding in terms of strike rate. And if you're in poor form, it can really be, and if you're playing with a little bit of fear or apprehension, it can kill you. So, I mean, the obvious decision is for Kohli to now say, yeah, well, maybe I should focus on test matches, which is consistent, he said, is the ultimate test. Maybe one days as well. And maybe I should leave T20 to others who are more fearless, who are not really, you know, worried about their place in the team. They can play a good match or not, or come back in again. There's a big pool of players for India to pick from. So I think the key, once again, is communication between the current team members, the captain and the selectors, saying, Kohli, you're in trouble. You know that. We know that. How many matches do you need? You need 1 match, 2 matches? We'll give you that as a former captain or format captain, best cricketer in the world. But that's it. And you score well, you're in. If you don't, I'm sorry, you know the writing on the wall. And Kohli will understand that.
All right. We have another caller, Natarajan from Chennai. Natarajan, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, the real problem started from the day Ganguly came into the picture. Actually, that is a real issue. Okay. Actually, he is the #1 world-class batsman. And he is the best captain. He has brought lot of laurels to the country. And it is because of Ganguly and co, as the other people say, he is unable to shine. When you know that you are being watched or you are going to get axed, this kind of lean period comes. So it is time that the people on the higher ups give him a free hand and make him to perform. It's really a very bad day for Ganguly and co. Thank you.
All right. That's a comment. That's an opinion. Frederick also joining us from Bengaluru. Frederick, go ahead with your question.
Hello. Yeah, I do agree that Kohli is going to the lean patch. But our panelists said there are many youngsters who are doing very good, except Pant, who is scoring. They are scoring 25 runs, 30 runs. Is that enough? They have to score centuries. Who are there? The new batsmen. Who are the bunch of new batsmen who are scoring, except Pant? Let me know.
Okay, Mr. Soni, would you like to take that?
Well, as I had earlier said, there are a lot of batsmen. When we give them a chance, then only they'll prove themselves. Then only they'll become Virat Kohlis. But as I said, Kohli should be given a fixed time, a month or so, when he plays the matches, whether it's a test match or whether it is one days. And if he doesn't perform well, then he's out. So this is a stage where he has to now be under pressure, get out of this bad form and prove himself. Of course, he's got his own class. But as everybody says, bad form also comes in one's career. So let him get time, let him get out of it. And if it doesn't, then the selectors to take a call and select one of the good youngsters who are doing well in local cricket and go ahead with the World Cup squad. So as far as I am concerned, Kohli has done human service. He has to be given one last chance for a month or so, 4, 5, 6 matches. And after that, if he doesn't do well, he should take his own decision or selectors should take the decision.
All right, we are trying to pack in as many callers as we can. Ashok Rao from Bengaluru calling us. Ashok, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rohit, and good afternoon to Mr. Soni and Mr. Charu Sharma. Now, what I find is a slight technical flaw in Kohli's batting. Actually, what I feel is I've been watching cricket for almost 50 years now. So, the problem is I think he should take his stance on the leg stump or just outside so that he can get a free swing of the bat on either side. His timing is okay, but I think that will really help his batting and he can score many more runs. And I also feel you should identify a batsman as a standby for only one batter as alternative to Kohli, and then keep him till the World Cup, so that if Kohli fails in some more matches, then that replacement could get in. That is my view. Thank you.
All right, Ashok Rao, thank you for sharing your opinion on this. Charu Sharma, I want to come to you and ask you on where do you come in on the debate over reputation? You know, should a player get extra chances because of what he's done in the past? Or as Venkatesh Prasad said, you know, that you can't play reputation. Even Anil Kumble sat out on so many occasions. Where do you come in on this?
I agree. I mean, reputation is something in the past. And cricket's only as good as you are, like a movie, you know, only as good as the last Friday or whatever. But, you know, we have to understand this in our socio-cultural context. And I don't mean to sound like some socio-cultural expert, but the truth is that we give a lot of respect and to reputation, to past achievements and so on and so forth. So as a country, as a group of people, we are less ruthless than, say, in Australia or other nations say, well, you've done badly in 3 matches. I don't care who you are, prime minister, you know, or captain of the team, out, whoever's in charge. We are a little more respectful of reputation. That's something we have to understand. It's easy for a fan to say out, but I mean, those who are in charge have come up through the same cultural system, and they will give a little more respect than perhaps other international cricketing countries may. So, you know, that's just our background, and we have to understand who we are as a people. I'd like to also very quickly before I leave, I'm sorry I have to leave the next minute or so, just comment that, you know, this whole conspiracy theory thing about the corporates, you know, now once again coming into the selection process. I mean, let's not get too deeply involved and tangled in these conspiracy theories about the corporates deciding who's going to be in, who's out, or that Ganguly is now a bad factor, as one gentleman said from Chennai, in Kohli's, you know, he's against Kohli, so Kohli has to watch over his back. I mean, these are easy things. If you're scoring runs, it doesn't matter. And if you're not, then, and Kohli would know that if it's because of some other person that, you know, who has his eye trained on exiting, on making Kohli exit, he just has to perform. And then nobody can, you know, hold any opinion against that. So these conspiracy theories really are not worth it. The truth is he's gone through a very long, lean patch. If he were not the best cricketer in the world, if he were not the all-format captain of India, he would have been out a long time back. But this respectful kind of, you know, this extension because of reputation is something that is helping Kohli. And it works the reverse way because, I mean, generally speaking, if you played a lot, you should be given a short rope because you're supposed to perform more consistently. It's only the youngsters who should be given a longer rope because they need more time to prove themselves. And one final comment, the gentleman said, show me why are people not scoring hundreds? Well, this is T20 that we're talking about, sir. And here, hundreds are very rare. If you have a quick 35, quick 45, that could win you the match in terms of strike rate. So it's not a question of who's scoring hundreds, but who's scoring quickly enough. Maybe a strike rate of 150 is what's required as a match winner in T20.
All right, Charu Sharma, thanks very much for joining us and sharing your perspective on this ongoing debate. I know you have to leave. Thanks very much for joining us. Bimal Soni continues to stay with us as we get another caller. Praveen Kumar calling us from Delhi. Praveen, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's very sad to see, these kind of debates happening, because there is this has been happening since the time Ganguly was there or Tendulkar was there, and now Kohli is there. For cricket fans or following cricket, it's very sad to see the way we as a country, we manage the talent. I think it's poor talent management from all. One of the callers from Chennai had called it out about the politics that is there between cricket administrators and the players. And I think there is a merit in that. And somewhere the system needs some kind of better management for the sake of the team. With a lot of politics, with a lot of, political pressure coming in for a performer, for a player, it is very hard to perform. We've seen this happen in case of Tendulkar also, but at that time, maybe perhaps the politics was less, but the pressure was a lot more. It is this pressure which kills the form. I think we, as a country, will lose out. Somewhere better talent management has to come inside.
Yes. All right, better management and politics should be kept aside. That's Praveen Kumar's view from Delhi. Praveen, thanks very much for speaking to us. Bimal, Soni, if I can come to you and ask you, there's been so much talk regarding Kohli's form. How much do you think this gets to the player, what Rohit Sharma called the quote-unquote outside noise?
Well, of course, the player also comes under pressure. But I think Kohli has played enough cricket to avoid this kind of pressure. But I'm sure he's going through a lean patch and he's under pressure himself. But if he gets out of that pressure, performs, he will continue to play. As I said, another month or couple of matches, he has to prove himself. He's now on trial. And if he doesn't, he should take a call whether he wants a break or he wants to retire. So it is something which will come to him not today, but in the next couple of matches if he doesn't perform. But I'm sure if he performs, once he gets a good knock, he will come into nick again and he would do well. Because as a player, he is fit, he is putting his efforts, and he is a person who's got the brains to get out of this patch. But if he doesn't get out, that means definitely reflexes are slowing to make his own decision.
All right, Rakesh Desai calling us from Mumbai. Rakesh, go ahead.
Connect.
Rakesh Desai, are you there on the line? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm there on the line. Yes, I wanted to say that what about the others? Most importantly, Kohli is not in the form. And don't you think that he is the hurdle between the youngsters who is going on right now, like Hudas and Surya Kumar Yadav and Shreyas Iyer? Yeah, so I just wanted to make BCCI should like a strict action against the. Yeah, I should look into it.
All right, Mr. Soni, would you like to take that? Is Kohli a hurdle for other players, the younger ones?
I don't agree on that. A player has performed for 15 years and suddenly in 2-3 months, if he goes on a lack of form, just don't throw him out. But at the same time, as I said, give him 1 or 2 more chances, give him this test series. If he doesn't do well, obviously he'll himself back out or the selectors will drop him. So it is not, I'm sure Shreyas Iyer and other Surya Yadav, they've got long careers ahead, but they would get their chances, but not at the expense of killing a person who has given 13, 14 years to Indian cricket. Give him a little chance, and then if it is not possible, ask him to go on his own or throw him out. I've told this a time and again. I said he deserves 2, 3, 4 more chances. And then, of course, he has to take his own call.
All right, so give him a little chance. Ramesh Ranjan is calling us from Bengaluru. Ramesh, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to ask, why is it that we have this double standards when it comes to Kohli versus Ashwin, right? Ashwin is equally decorated cricketer, the world's #1 bowler who has got the highest number of wickets for India as a spinner and other things. But when he performs 1 or 2 matches badly, he's dropped. But Virat Kohli did in 3 years. His average in Test cricket in the last 3 years is 22. So why is this double standard when it comes to Virat when compared to other leading cricketers?
All right, I'll take that question to Mr. Soni. I'll take one more caller, Bhargav Bhatt from Ahmedabad calling. Bhargav, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you. Namaskar. The point, that very limited point.
Yes, go ahead.
That I would like to make. This is the first ever bad phase as far as Virat Kohli is concerned. And this comes in not only cricket, in any walk of life, in any profession. He should be given a chance. That's number one. And the second point is that either he plays in the 11 or he's out of 15. That's about it. Why? A person of Virat Kohli's caliber and stature, who has given so much to Indian cricket, should not be he should not be a bench strength. He should be either playing in 11 or he should be out of 15, so that he enables another youngster to join the squad and be Virat Kohli of future. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thanks, Bhargav Bhatt. Let's go to Mr. Soni. Mr. Soni, would you like to take that? Ramesh Ranjan saying that there is double standards when it comes to Kohli and Ashwin. If you compare the two players, and Bhargav Bhatt also agreeing with your point that we should give Mr. Kohli a chance.
No, on the Ashwin front, the person who's speaking is not speaking right. Yes. Ashwin was playing 4 medium pacers. There was a time when we were spin-oriented, and Jadeja and Ashwin used to play, and we used to have 3 medium pacers. Now the team management, the conditions in England, the ground condition, the wicket was little green top. We dropped Ashwin and we took in 4 medium pacers. It's a policy decision. Ashwin is very much part of the team. And if there is a track which requires slow bowlers, I'm sure Ashwin will still play. Even in test match, I think Ashwin will play. So for us to say that this is double standard between Kohli and Ashwin, we can't compare the two. Kohli is there as a batsman, irrespective of the batting conditions. But Ashwin has been dropped because of the ground conditions. At the same time, one-day cricket is different. Test cricket is different. Ashwin is not a fit person who would walk into the side. Jadeja was given an advantage because of his batting, because of his fielding as a spinner. So it entirely depends on team composition, which is decided by the selectors and especially by the team management, which chooses the first 11.
Right. Right. Raghuram is joining us from Mumbai. Raghuram, go ahead.
Yeah, a small thing. I mean, of course, he's out of form, Kohli. But I just want to convey the message that he can get back into form by taking some, say, 5 balls or 10 balls in an over when he comes to the bat. And then go, because he's trying to be ultra-aggressive. That's the point, I believe. 10, 12 balls, he can take his time, take a single and have a strike rate of 100 and then try to pick it up. 1 or 2 matches he tries it, then he will get back his form. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to hit a 4 or 6 in very 1 or 2 balls and getting out 1 or 2 matches. That's what I'm trying to understand. He can definitely come back.
All right, let me take another caller. Anil joining us from... Yes. Yes, Raghuram, we got your point. Anil calling us from Delhi. Anil, go ahead quickly.
I would say he's a great performer, and he has got all those strokes which he knows, in the books of cricket. Now, what is the problem is I feel that only Kohli knows what is the problem. So he has to focus himself. Nobody can give him any advice. And that one problem he can solve and he can come back to his form. Just one line. Only one problem which he is facing, and that he has to focus himself. Nobody can tell him what is his problem. It could be logical, it could be, in selecting stroke or whatever. Just one problem where he is not able to, adjust himself.
Right.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, Mr. Bimal Soni, take those questions. Is Mr. Kohli trying to be ultra aggressive, trying to hit 4s and 6s in the very first over that he's facing? One, that, and what is Mr. Kohli's problem is what Mr. Anil is saying. Only Kohli knows that problem. He should overcome that. What do you think he needs to turn around his form?
Well, as far as I am concerned, Kohli knows what he's doing. He's played too much of international cricket not to know. Bad form comes in everybody's life. He's gone through it. He's trying to get out of it. If he gets out early, if he scores a 4 and he gets out early, we say he's being aggressive. I don't agree. Kohli is going on the merit of the bowling. Certain bowlers, if they bowl a bad ball, he'll score runs. He's trying to get into form by consolidating. By consolidation, I don't mean by being defensive. By consolidation, I mean taking each ball on its merit and playing his strokes where required and not taking risks. There is something like risk taking. He should not take risks, but at the same time, he should not be bogged down. And I think Virat Kohli knows how to get out of it. And people like Virat Kohli, with good nets, get good practice, return to form. He's going through a bad period, and in bad period, don't forget, we also get chance. We also get no chances sometimes. We are unlucky sometimes. Even half chances are accepted by the fielders. And at times, we do get a couple of chances and we score runs. And once he gets a long score, I think he'll get back into his mental rhythm and he'll do well. So, as I said earlier, I again repeat, give him 2-3 chances. Give him about a month to recover. And if he doesn't, then we take our new players.
All right, interesting. Ajay Sehgal joining us from Mumbai. Ajay, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say India, first of all, as senior cricketers don't know when it is a time to retire. They actually have to be shoved out. And within about giving chances, Kohli has been given 3 years almost and he's performed nothing. And if you're killing the careers of people who have earned the place in their team at the expense of giving somebody who's not performing, that is also a bit unfair, I feel. Not a bit, that is absolutely unfair. In today's competitive world, used to keep people out of the team even at the peak of their careers because of his ego. And now his ego is being, massaged for some reason. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you, sir.
All right, Ajay. Arun Kundar also joining us from Mumbai. Arun, go ahead quickly.
What I feel is, Kohli is easily the best batsman we have now. But the only problem he has is his ego. His ego is not allowing him to play against weaker sides. Why didn't he play against Ireland? Why is he not going to West Indies? He should be a bit clever, accept that he's out of form and come back by playing with a weaker side. It's very easy to come back to form when you're playing against a weaker side. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Soni, take this. Both Arun and Ajay speaking about ego. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with the ego part, but I agree with what the last speaker has said, that he should have gone and played against the weaker side, try and get in form as early as possible. He is actually delaying the inevitable. And if he doesn't do well with some good side, then he's out. So I think he should have played the maximum matches, try and get back in form. That I agree with. But I don't think so he's doing out of ego. Maybe he's got some own, reservations, whatever it may be. But I think Kohli should play maximum, try and get in form or retire. So there's no midway in my language, and he should not be dropped. He should.
Right. Right. All right. Dev Jain is joining us from Kurukshetra. Dev Jain, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so actually I had some views about Kohli getting dropped. I don't think people in India should be questioning his talent or his potential or form or anything. He just lost mojo because of like a few innings, like he wasn't able to be consistent due to the COVID thing and also due to the IPL. And after that, he took some tests, and that's why I think like he's not able to score big amount of runs. But I think like the amount of runs he has scored in the past 1 or 1.5 years is still more than the amount of runs normal batsman is scoring. So the expectations of the bars that he has set is so high that people are just asking him to get dropped. But I don't think like it's a solution to just talk rubbish about the player of this potential. And I think he just needs one innings to find his mojo back.
All right, Dave, that's your opinion. Thanks very much for speaking to us. Noel Smith from Jaipur joining us. Noel, go ahead.
Yeah. This program of yours is great. I think Kohli, it's high time that the Indian selection panel took a decision on him. Yes, it's high time, our selectors took a call on Kohli. How long are they going to carry on carrying a dead weight like him? It's 3 years now. Who the hell gets a chance like this anywhere in any sport?
Yes. All right, Noel, thanks very much for that. Bimal Soni, I want to ask you, see, these opinions are coming in that it's high time that selectors take a call on Virat Kohli. I wanted to ask you the same question I put to Charu Sharma. Where do you come in on reputation, on what the person has performed in the past? Should a person get extra chances just on the basis of that?
No, I don't think so. But what I also feel is that if he's doing well in local cricket, if he has done well, we can give him. And the way he bats, now if there is a test series coming and he's not.
All right, we'll try and reconnect with Mr. Soni, but Mr. Jaspal joining us from Rohtak, go ahead. Mr. Jaspal, are you there on the line?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Jaspal, go ahead.
Yes, I am also of the opinion enough is enough. For his past performance, he cannot be carried on with this team when the bench strength is so good and he is setting a bad example. He should gracefully go out, play first-class cricket. He has not been able to perform in any form of cricket. And it is not a good example. It is highly disgraceful, to say the least. Thank you.
Yes, all right. Thanks, Jaspal, for giving your opinion on this. Mr. Soni, sorry, we lost you in the middle of that. You were talking about on the question of reputation. Complete your point.
Well, I am again trying to say that we are not going by reputation. But only within a month, within 2-3 matches, if he doesn't perform, let him take his decision of retiring or drop in. But today, if we drop in now, when I think he is playing reasonably well and he deserves a couple of more chances before the selectors take a call on him. And that is my opinion. Now, as I am listening to people are taking an opinion that throw him out now. Well, it is individuals' opinions. Even the selectors, 5 of them may have different opinions, but the consensus should prevail. Whatever the 5 selectors take, we should abide by them. But I am sure Kohli has to perform in next 2, 3, 4 innings. And if he doesn't, his days are numbered. That is very clear. But let's not throw him out, as some of the people on the talk show are saying. I think he deserves 1 or 2 more chances, 3 chances, and let the selectors take a call.
He deserves a couple of more chances. Suresh joining us on the phone line. Suresh, go ahead.
Yeah, see, I want to ask Kohli himself and also the ex-manager, Mr. Soni. Does Kohli feel it's below his dignity to play domestic cricket? Because if he starts playing domestic cricket, his confidence will definitely boost. And then he can always come back, And this treatment is given to almost all the players. This is my question.
All right, Mr. Soni, would you take that?
Now the players playing in Indian team have hardly got any time to play domestic cricket. I agree with the caller when he says that he should go back to domestic cricket, get back in form and come back to the side. This he will definitely do. But as I said, give him 1 or 2 more chances and then he'll let him go to the domestic game. And if he feels he can come back, he should perform and come back. If he's not doing well, he should gracefully retire. So I am of that opinion also. But I am not here to drop him today. In the last 2-3 years, as they are saying, you are matching him by his standards. You are not matching. He's not been a total failure. He's got 40-50 runs. But by Kohli standards, he's been not good. So what I feel is, give him 2-3 matches after the selectors talk to him. If he doesn't perform, either give him a break or ask he should himself retire. So this is what I'm trying to say. I am not against Kohli being axed if he doesn't perform. But give him 1 or 2, 3 more chances, maybe a month or so, okay? Because he has not got domestic cricket to come back to form because the Indian team is continuously playing all 3 formats.
All right, Mr. Soni, thank you very much for joining us and fielding all those questions from the callers, from viewers, from cricket fans. We'll wait and see what future holds. Thanks very much for the moment for joining us. This is an ongoing debate on Virat Kohli's form. And now Mr. Ganguly also weighing in on this debate. Thanks very much for speaking to us, Mr. Soni. We're stopping for a short break. Lots more on the other side. Stay with us.